welcome back to my channel. As you can tell by the title down below, we are going to be canning some bone broth. So this is my first canning project. If you've been watching me for a while now, you've been knowing I've had such a high interest in canning and it's been one of my goals. I've been saving a lot of bones, chicken bones and ham bones from Christmas time. So I got 2 ham bones, one from Nick's grandparents, one that we had, and yeah, just a bunch of chicken bones and some chicken bones I got my parents to save for me too. My dishwasher is on, so apologies if you hear that in the background, but bone broth. So I'm going to have 2 slow cookers going, one for chicken, one for the pork or the ham, and we're going to let them go low and slow in the slow cookers for 24 hours. So we're not actually canning anything today. We will come back tomorrow to physically can our product, but I'm just super keen and excited to get these into slow cookers and get them going. So without further ado, we'll just go straight onto the chicken bone broth. Alright, so I got one slow cooker over here. This is all of the bones I've taken out, and then over on this side I got the other slow cooker. I've just kind of separated them two just so I have some bench space because I do have quite a small kitchen. But we're going to start with this one. This is my parents that I am borrowing to make this project happen. So we're going to start with that one. I do think it's slightly bigger for the chicken bones. I also just wanted to show the spinach I've taken out. This is homegrown spinach that I have preserved up. This is 250 grams back in November. I'm so excited. We're going to be starting spinach here again soon. This is my first time actually using frozen spinach. We don't use a lot. I only preserved, I believe, 3 bags. But I did use a lot of spinach fresh while it was in the garden. But it's just cool that I get to, like, the plant has been out of the garden for a while and I still get to enjoy some yummy homegrown vegetables. So very happy with that. So I've taken that out for dinner tonight. Anyway, so in our slow cooker, I don't know how many litres. 20 litres is what I am assuming. But here are our chicken bones. These are all chicken bones that have been cooked and they are being frozen from cooked. So it's just a mixture of, if I've made chicken wings, I think maybe might be some chicken drumsticks. Majority of it is chicken carcasses from roast chicken, and that's also a mixture of myself roasting chicken and just buying the pre-made roast chicken. So it's all frozen. As you can see, I'm just gonna kind of separate it a bit. Actually, I might have too many bones for this pot. We'll see. So my second bag, I got another 2 carcasses, it looks like. So I believe I got a total of 3 carcasses plus a bunch of random chicken wings and chicken drumstick bones. I think these are the drumsticks here. So once these cook down a bit, once we fill it up with water and we turn it on, they will separate, they'll defrost, they'll separate, they'll loosen up a little bit. And once they do actually cook down, the bones will become quite soft and they will start falling apart, and that is perfect what we want for bone broth. So although this is very full, I just want to make sure I can actually put my lid does fit. I still got to add the water in, of course. But before I go to bed tonight, it is 2:10 in the afternoon. I won't go to bed. We're most likely going to the gym tonight, so I probably won't be going to bed for another 12 hours. So I will check it. I will top up the water and I'll show you as well when I do come back and do that. But in total time from start to finish, we do want it in for 24 hours. So the bowls of water that I am putting in here, I do believe is about 2 litres. Oh, I don't know how full I can fill this. Right, we'll just do that. So that's roughly about 6 litres of liquid, I believe. Don't quote me on that, but like I said, once these bones start defrosting, they will weigh lighter once they're not so icy, so the water level will drop. Plus, with these slow cookers, like, they're not, like, it will evaporate, especially being on for 24 hours. But like I said, in 12-hour mark, which is just before I'll go to bed, I'll check it and we can add more water. So now I've popped that onto low, and now let's get started with the ham bones. Alright, so now with this slow cooker, this one is my slow cooker. It might be the same. I don't think so. I do think it's a bit smaller. Maybe this might be about 15 litres. So this is one of the ham bones. This is the ham from Nick and myself from Christmas. I just wrapped it in both plastic, glad wrap and foil just to make it safe from the freezer. So as you can see with the ham bone, we got the knuckle part still on. That's going to have lots of nutrients and flavour. There's a little bit of meat on here, not much at all. We did do a good job of polishing that. And we got another one here from Nick's grandparent. They did leave a fair bit of meat on theirs, which is going to be fantastic for our broth. There we go. As you can see, this piece is got a lot more meat on there. There's not a lot of meat. Most of the meat did get eaten, but that's okay. That is all fine. Now it's just to try and get these to fit. Right, so again about 6 litres of water in this pot, and we'll pop that onto low, and again we will top this up in 12 hours time. One thing I had just remembered about is I've also been saving some veggie scraps. I haven't been saving as many veggie scraps as I would have liked. Most of this is onion peel, so I'm just going to somehow add that. I'm going to add it to both. So we've got some onion peels in there. What else do we have in this bag? Pop that in. We have a couple of pieces of zucchini ends. These are more than likely from our homegrown zucchini. And that's literally all. It's just zucchini and onion. So that's plenty for that one. And in this one, and as you can see, I got some fresh herbs in the corner there. That was from my parents' garden. When I went to go pick up the slow cookers, because she had hers and mine. So I picked them up today, and then I raided some fresh rosemary in time for the garden for our roast lamb for dinner tonight. So that's great. Alright, so it's now the next day. It did not reduce much at all. It has reduced, I don't know, maybe 3 centimeters. But what I've done is I turned it off when I woke up this morning. So about the 20-hour mark, I did switch it off. And I've just let this sit while I went to work, so then it could cool as well. Because I work a split shift, I didn't have time between the shifts for this to wait to cool. So this has been cooling for more than 24 hours in total. So now we're gonna just strain it. And this is the chicken bone broth. So using one of these spider strainer things, I'm just gonna pick it up. You can see these bones are so tender. Like I said, they're just falling apart. Very, very soft and tender, which is perfect. So it's going to be quite a process to strain it all off, but it's definitely going to be worth it. And yeah, last night I did not need to top this up at all. When I went to bed, it was still very much full. So yeah, neither one of these pots have got topped up with any water. It's just from the start. And now this is the bowl that was going to get discarded. And we're left with about half a pot of stock with still some little floaty bits. So I'm going to get a fresh bowl, a strainer. This is the biggest strainer I have, which is like medium. So I know that's not going to be good enough. I'm going to need something finer. But for now, I'm just going to tip it in and hopefully not make a mess. Oh no. Okay, hang on. Okay, that obviously didn't work the best. I guess I'm just going to use a mug. There we go. We'll just do do it this way. Alright, hopefully this last little bit can get tipped in. Right. That is looking and smells, might I add, wonderful. Alright, so I've just, this was the bowl that had the bones in, same size as this bowl. So yeah, we're just gonna go through again. And I don't know if it's gonna catch much. Right, I'm just gonna let this sit onto the bench. I will wrap it. I'm gonna do the exact same process with this pot, and this has our ham bone in it, our ham broth. Alright, so it's now the next day. Actually, it's been 2 days. So the day after, with the slow cookers, I didn't need to top up the water. It only evaporated, I'd say, about that much. I didn't feel the need to top up the water, so I didn't. I then strained out the broths. This one's the chicken broth. Popped it in the bowl. I was going to can it last night. I was just too tired, so I popped it in the fridge. This morning there was a layer of fat. You can still see a little bit of fat particles on there. And exactly the same with the ham broth. I just used a spoon to scoop up this fat because the fat was solid. And now I've got out my canner. I'm just rereading. This is the book that came with the canner. So I do have a pressure canner. I'm just rereading this. I rewatched a couple of videos. I don't know my height above sea level for my area where I live. I Google it. Google says 100 different ones, but all of it is less than 1,000 feet. So I think we're all good. So what I'm going to do is process that 11 pounds of pressure for 20 minutes. This is also Americanized, so it says pints and quarts. The jars I'm using is 500 mil. Pints is 460 something or 480 something mil, so it's closest to that. Whereas a quart is in the 900s of mil, and there's 5-minute difference. So I'm probably just going to go for about 21 minutes when I do that. So in my pot, I also got the 23 quart canner. So in my pot, this is the rack. This has to be used every time you can something. It just makes the jars not sit directly on the bottom. If I had a spare one of these, I could definitely double stack. I don't have a spare one, so that's okay. But what I'm going to do is, it needs to have 3 quarts of water in, which is just under 3 litres. So I'm just going to go fill up my pot of 3 litres of water, and I'm just going to pop it on the stove on a medium heat. Alright, so I've just added 3 litres, just a little bit less of water. It's cold water just from the tap. I'm not going to put it on medium heat just because I was thinking of starting to heat it up, but I'm not, just because the stock is cold. So I want it to not be like that. And then just adding a splash of vinegar in the water. You don't need to add vinegar. That's just going to help to prevent making the jars have that water line, and also helps to prevent the water line or stainage happening inside of the pot. So I just got some ordinary white vinegar. Did I say white sugar before? I don't know, but it's white vinegar. But yeah, I'm not going to turn my stove on until I got the jars in. If I was using hot broth, so straight away at the 24-hour mark, I had the hot broth and I filled in my jars. This would have to be near on the same temperature as the jars. Otherwise, if it's too much of a difference, if the liquid inside of the jars is hot and I put it in a cold pressure canner, the difference of the temperature of the jar will make the jar crack, and same as the other way around. So my liquid is cold, so if this gets too hot, then it's going to crack. I can start heating this up, but because this is my new time, I'm a little bit timid, not timid, like a little bit, I don't know. Yeah, I'm learning. So I'm just going to not turn it on at all. With my canner, it did come with a canner funnel. just so I can have more of a room and to prevent spilling. I guess this one's just some kind of can opener. This one is what we will use to take it in and out of the water. Well, not really in, but out of the water. This, I don't know what this one's for. We got that as well. This is to place the things on top. I'm assuming, I don't think I'll need that. And this is going to be handy because, again, I'm from Australia. Inches, we do use inches, not as much as centimeters and stuff. So this is just going to give me a rough idea on headspace. So I do want 1 inch of headspace, so I set it up to the 1 inch mark. So this top nookie here reads 1 inch, so I've set that in there. Then I can have a rough guide on where 1 inch is. So as long as where this jar starts to bow out to where the actual, like the top of the jar starts, or maybe if I do it on the outside, yeah. So that's going to be where I'm going to roughly fill it, because I do want 1 inch of headspace. If for some reason I only needed ½ an inch, then this is a nookie and 1/4 inch, or maybe that's 1/4 inch. Yeah, this is 1/4 inch, sorry. ½ an inch, 3/4 and 1 inch. So this is definitely a handy tool that came with it. And I'm just going to be using just my 1/4 cup measurer just to scoop it in. I'm so nervous for this. And I'm definitely going to be doing the exact same process with the hand broth, same amount, 1 inch of headspace, everything like that. This has been sitting out as well for a couple of hours now, so it's not as solidified. I think the hand broth is definitely more jelly-like though. I just want to focus on one thing at a time, so I'm just going to do the chicken broth. And as you can see, there's still some fat particles in here, a lot less than normal, so I think this is going to be fine. And all of the solid stuff has sat into the bottom. For the little bits will be sitting on the bottom of the bowl, so I'm not going to try and stir it up too much or anything like that. Just so hopefully we get a lot more nicer broth. So if I put that in, yeah. So there's like less than 1/4 inch between this and the top of the broth. So I'm going to call that perfect. Well, obviously not perfect. I can do the tiniest amount more, but that's going to be plenty for me. I prefer to give myself a little bit more wiggle room while I'm learning especially. But how cool is that? And the colour of it. Oh, it's amazing colour. It looks like honey. And also, I don't know if I mentioned it earlier, I had added no salt to this, no garlic, no pepper, no seasonings of any kind. You can definitely add that when you're making your broth and canning. With salt, you don't want to use iodized salt, I believe it is. If I'm incorrect, I will write the text on the screen. I'm not exactly sure why. It's just not safe for pressure canning. But you don't have to add salt. You don't have to add any kind of preservative. A lot of people use salt or lemon juice when they're preserving things. You don't have to add anything. If you want to, you can, but it's not required to have a safe preserve. So I haven't added anything because then I thought, I'm just going to double check each time. Perfect. But yeah, I haven't added anything because I thought it will be better to season it when I turn it into a soup or whatever I will use the cooking for. I ended up filling 5 jars. I'm going to get a small cup with some vinegar in, just a little bit. And I would normally use a paper towel. I don't have any, so I'm just going to use a brand new clean cloth. And what we want to do is just dab it in. And then this is just going to wipe the rings or the edges of our jars. So if I did make a spill or a mess, then that's just going to clean it up and get rid of all the, I don't know, just the grease or the product to make a nice seal. And these jars are all brand new, but it's also still good just to check that there's no chips or cracks, because if there's any type of chips and cracks, that can either break your jar or not give you a good seal. So that's something you do want to check every single time. So So brand new lids, I'm just going to add one to each, and these lids you can't reuse, so once you've used them, then that's it. You can use them for dry storage, but for canning you can't reuse the lids. Just have to make sure that it's just one. This one actually, I'm not going to use this one, just like I said as well, just because they're all brand new, but you can see there it's kind of indented a little bit, so I'm not going to use this. I will still use it, I'll just mark it and use it for dry storage only, but that's could possibly affect the seal. It might be completely fine. I'm not that experienced to know if that will affect the seal, because it also is on this part and not actually on the rim, but I don't want to risk it. So yeah, just because things are brand new doesn't mean they won't have any faults, and that's exactly the same as well with the actual jars, so it's good to always check it. Now with a ring, apparently, apparently some people put the rings on too tight, which is no good. You just kind of want it finger tight, I guess, just to not really grab it and tighten it. I don't know, I'm nervous that they're not tight enough, but, and if you press, that's a not seal. So once they come out and they've all settled, hopefully that doesn't happen. That's the goal. Alright, we're going to turn this on to medium high, and we want to wait until this vent starts streaming. So once this starts streaming with steam, I will then put a timer on for 10 minutes. After 10 minutes, I'll pop on the wave, which is this little guy, which I guess just sits on, yeah. So after 10 minutes of the stream, I'll pop this on. That's going to create the pressure inside of the pot. For my elevation, I think 10 to 11. It says, for Broth it says 11, for my elevation's 10. I'm just going to go with 11 because it's that or higher for about 20 minutes. So yeah, I'll go for 11. So I'm going to aim between 11 and 15. So once it does start to heat up, then I'll turn the stove down to try and keep it in that range. But I'm definitely going to keep a very close eye on this and try and remember the temperatures when I change it and how often and so on and so forth. Alrighty, so for the hand broth, I'm just going to not worry about rinsing out this funnel or my measuring scoop. It does have like little droplets of chicken broth. That's fine. It's not that much. And I also got 4 jars out because that's what I'm assuming we will need. So this broth is definitely more jelly-like consistency, as you can see there, but that's fine. It just smells, it smells like Christmas Eve. It smells really good. To be honest, when this was in, the smell was quite strong, and I didn't like it. I wasn't a fan. It wasn't gross. It wasn't like, I wasn't second guessing if it was awful, anything bad. It wasn't gross. It just smelled weird. But now it's cooled, it smells like a fresh Christmas ham. So hopefully that's okay. I mean, with my thing it is, but it's definitely more closer to my measurer than what I do with the chicken one. So I might do a little less in the other ones. And at the same time while I'm doing this, I'm definitely listening and turning my head towards my stove to check on the situation that's happening there. With the hand broth, I got 6 jars made up. Alright, this is taking such a long time, but it's finally happening. I don't know if you can see, but with the sprout, just then it's starting to bubble. I don't know if you can tell. Ooh, it's hot. So that, I'm assuming, trying to put my hand around it without burning myself so you guys can hopefully see. That I'm assuming is normal. I can feel steam. I can't see the steam, but I can start to feel it. It's not that high up. I can feel it here. But anything above from here, that's where it kind of goes. I think I'm going to wait a little bit, maybe until I start seeing the steam, and then I will set the timer for 10 minutes. Now what I've done, the water is still spitting. I can feel the pressure of the steam hitting my hand, and I can also feel it a lot more higher above. So I've started the timer for 10 minutes. I still can't see it. I don't know if it's because I got white tiles behind. But even when I cover my hand, I can't physically see the steam, but I can definitely feel it. And it's not just like heat, I can feel the actual steam. But I'm still going to keep my eye on it, because then if I do end up physically seeing the steam, then we'll reset the timer. But yeah, for now, because of the feeling is what I'm going by, and I can hear that it is boiling. Yeah, I've set the timer for 10 minutes and then we'll see how it goes. Alright, my timer's just gone off. I can still definitely feel the steam. It's bubbling around here as well, so hopefully I didn't do that like too loose. Woo, that scared me for some reason, that sound. Okay, and I've also turned it down to medium. Alright, so it's just the sounds, the different sounds. This top little thing should come up when this goes on. So this is essentially just like the manual. This is just the digital thing. So I believe they have this for if this were to break or something were to happen to your numbers here, then you know there's going to be pressure with this little thing. I don't know, it just says top on it. But yeah, so I did turn it down to medium just because the sounds are kind of scaring me. But yeah, we're going to wait until this comes up to 11 and then we'll set a timer for, I'm going to do 22 minutes. Alright, there is all sorts of different sounds happening. We are now above 11 pounds of pressure. We're currently sitting on 12 pounds of pressure. So I've just turned the stove top down a touch, just hopefully so I don't go too up too high. If it gets closer to 15, I'll turn it down more. It's just the whole balance game, which I don't really know. I was under the impression though that this weight was supposed to like rock and jiggle, like as a steady, I don't know. That's what I thought was going to happen. It's not happening. Water still kind of spin underneath it. This dial or gauge or whatever has popped up. I don't want to touch it, but so that's popped up. I thought that was going to jiggle, so I'm not too sure why that's not, but it's okay because this is good. Alright, so I think this is going to be the last time I'm going to film, just because, I don't know, I want to eat and keep my eye on this and with the sounds and everything going on. Anyway, so my lunch today is, I'm also back on my health kick diet. If you've been following me for a while, before Christmas, I think we started in September. During September and December, I lost 10 kilo. Nick lost, I don't know how much he lost, 20 something? I can't remember. But for me, I lost 10 kilo. Christmas came around, I was like, oh, it's Christmas, only a few days. And some things I have kept, like my portion sizes, I've maintained the same. And thinking about eating, what I'm eating before I actually eat it. Not thinking about, but like just realizing, I suppose, exactly what I'm eating. The gym we've kept up with. I'm so nervous for this. And everything like that. So okay, I gotta hurry up. What was I saying? I don't know what I was saying, but essentially we're back on a health kick. Well, not a health kick, but a diet. I am documenting what I eat and work out in a day on my TikTok. I'll leave that link down below. It's always linked below, I believe. I'm gonna enjoy this. I just love how pretty it looks too. But I'll enjoy this. Keep my eye on that. And we'll just come back when we are taking it out. Alright, so now time for the most nerve-wracking part. It's still on. I haven't moved it. I've turned the heat off after the 22 minutes was up. It's still very, very hot. This never jiggled around, so not sure with that. It was kind of easy to keep it between the thing as well. But anyway, so once it's gone back down to 0, I had the timer on for 10 minutes. This went to 0 before this dropped, so within 10 minutes this is now dropped. So I'm going to release the weight. Okay, that wasn't as scary as I thought. Right. Open. Ooh, that is pretty hot. Ooh. So also with this, for some reason my mind wants to say the green is, oh no, that is right, the green is the handle. My mind saying the black is the handle, but no, the green is the handle. Anyway, let's get one of these suckers out. Oh, I'm so nervous for this. Oh, oh, it's just making sounds. Okay. I don't know why I'm so scared of getting it out. I don't know what was so scary for me. Woo. Woo. Okay, that hot. I don't know why, but I just don't trust getting it out. This just doesn't seem normal or safe. I don't know. Obviously it is safe, but I love seeing the bubbles as well. That sound as well, that little ting, is it sealing. So the different types of colouring as well, that's just fat. Eventually all that fat will then come up to the top. But when I first said, oh, it's just a little bit here, so I don't exactly know what happened, but we'll see. I'm going to wait for these to cool completely and then I'll take the rings off. So we're going to wait for that to completely cool. I'm also going to wait for my pot to cool. I can heat up the ham jars, but I'm just going to wait for this to cool instead and then start all over again. Alright, so these are the ham broth ones. These haven't gone in the can yet. I'm still waiting for it to cool. To be honest, I'm probably going to go for a nap. And I'll just get it done later tonight. But see how that's obviously not canned, and when I tighten up the rings, like I can't, like it's tight. It's not like force tight, but it's pretty tight. Observation I've had with the chicken ones cooling, so this is like not canned, and now with the chicken ones I just thought I'll come and just have a nosy. But these rings are, this one not, but all the other ones are very, very loose, and I definitely did not have it this loose. So did I put it in too loose to start off with, or is this normal? I don't know. So if anyone experienced watching this, please let me know in the comments below if that is, it's just so hot so I can't do it properly, but if it being this loose is normal for like once it comes out and cools a bit. This is all finished. Every jar has sealed, which is great. Definitely still very hot and still bubbles, so I'm not gonna actually take these off or anything till they're completely cool, but yeah, that's just an observation I have had, which again, not many, well, the videos I've watched at least don't really talk about oh, well, like I said, this one's not, but all the other ones, you know what I mean? I just don't know. So yeah, if you know and you can give me some insight, please let me know in the comments below. I would really appreciate it. Alright, so that is all for this video. I currently do have the ham bones out. I'll insert a picture or a little clip over the top of here with it all out and looking really, really good. Fingers crossed it looks really good. But obviously if something does go wrong or if something cracks or if anything does happen, then I will try and figure out why, and then I will come back on to explain. But like I said, hopefully it is all okay. But yeah, thank you so much for coming on this journey, this canning journey with me. This is kind of like loud. But that's right. I'm very excited, and like I said, any tips and tricks or anything that I missed that I should know, if you are experienced, please let me know in the comments down below. I am very grateful to get any more helpful information. Otherwise, yeah, next project is going to be pumpkins, homegrown pumpkins and homegrown potatoes. We want to can up, and then I think after that maybe some Worcestershire sauce or Worcestershire sauce, however you want to pronounce that. That's another thing right on my up there list that I do want to do. But yeah, thank you so much for watching. Please give this video a thumbs up if you did enjoy. Subscribe down below so you don't miss out on my future videos. I'll see you guys next time. Bye!